Woke up late, charts on fire, red and green like a funeral pyre. Discord screaming LFG, but my portfolio's haunting me. Spiked my coffee with regret. Last night I longed to breakout bet. Now I'm broke, not broken yet. Just one more pump, I won't forget. Buy high, die huddling. The gen brain dopamine's controlling. Ride the whale or get wrecked clean. This crypto dream's a guillotine. Fake guru with 1,000 subs showed me coins in shitty clubs. Promised moons, Lambos and jets. Now I'm left with JPEGs and debts. Scalped my soul in a 5-minute chart. Market dumped and it ripped my heart. But I'll reload, I'll play to win. Even if I lose it all again. Buy high, die huddling. Gas fees burn, but I keep rolling. FOMO's gone, greed's the king. This crypto dream's a punk rock thing. Time in hands with the crack in the glass. Risk it all, no brakes, full gas. Liquidation, call me sweet. Whisper welcome to defeat. No stop loss, no regrets. Code and chaos, no safety nets. Satoshi's ghost in my DMs told me to ape again and again. Buy high, die huddling. Gas fees burn, but I keep rolling. If I crash, at least I tried. In this wild west of blockchain rise. I'll be trading till the lights go out. Charts are noise, but I live for the sound. One candle spike, and I'm back in town.
Good morning, guys. I hope you're having a good day today. I hope you had an awesome weekend. Bitcoin was a little bit boring until Sunday, then it woke the heck up. Market is possessed, says Iron Grit. Yeah, we can go over that. We got Coma's here, Brett, Sunny, Jilly, Mob the Great, Wayne, the ADHD trader. All of us got a little bit of ADHD for sure. Uncle, how you doing, man? Noah, George, Ladd, Sturding. We got Wayne on my side. Okay. All right, let's dive into it. So I am waiting on a long for Bitcoin. I'll explain why. It's a very short-term long, though. What's up, Block Party? How you doing, man? So Bitcoin right now has just bounced off this uptrending momentum. Okay, so this uptrending momentum has been keeping Bitcoin up since 65K. So if I were to zoom out on the hourly, just so you can see it a little faster, I can see all the way back here. We had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're on our 7th tap of this uptrending momentum, right? Bitcoin loves to follow its buy side and sell side momentum until eventually it breaks, right? And then it helps you identify a strong correlation with the trend reversal. So like we have just SFP this high on Sunday, where our supply top is. The supply has been keeping us down for over 2 months now, right? This is supply guy right here. Think of this as the main area of interest that will induce the range, right? So when we're in downtrends, we create supply and that we have to watch out for as our ceiling for ranges. And we just fully mitigate that. So if this is a piece of armor, the sword has been pierced through it twice and it's gotten significantly weaker. So it doesn't mean we're going to be going up, but it does mean that next time we come through this area, it's going to be a lot easier for us to go up in a more of a macro view. So here, let's zoom back in, on the 15-minute. What I'm preparing for today is the orb breakout strategy, which has, depending on what session you're in, it's between like a 56 to a 64% win rate. In the New York session, it's about a 53 to 56% win rate. So here, we're going to be looking, we got the break now, right? There goes my alarms. Okay, we got the break now. This is the orb right here. And we are above the point of control. We do have a bit of an area of interest here. We got a bit of an area of interest here as well. So these are going to be our main areas of concern when we're in the trade. We'll be looking at this as an area of interest for a re-entry. So not re-entry, because the confirmation's already occurred for that strategy, we can't really enter in now. The entry is way too steep, right? We're looking at a 1-to-1 if we entered in now. And it could run away from us. It could just go straight up towards our target. And if it does, then I'm fine with it. Like I like to focus on 1-to-2 scenarios. So when we get down here, what we can do now that the candle has closed and we confirm that internal break of structure, we can look for our limit order entry. So now, right as we speak, is the time where we can set that limit order for that retest, break above the VWAP, and then we'll be looking for shorts at our target. At our target, there's $94 million worth of liquidity resting here. It's kind of a weird spot for liquidity to be resting, but it mostly came from people reacting to this break, right? So high leverage traders entered into a short. You can validate this using heat maps. So here we got our heat map. We got our breakdown, and yeah, at like 78.5, we got 93.75 million. And a little bit above it at 78,647, we got $41 million there too. So a little bit of liquidity clustered there. We grabbed a decent amount of liquidity when we swept that high, but we also stacked more, right? So we could get that higher high taken, of course, but I'm going to be preparing for the correction here, right? So if we get that opposing reversal structure, it'd be a good time to just listen to the market when you get the bearish. It would be an internal change of character, or any internal break of structure. I'll be like looking for that reversal too. But yeah, we are bearish technically on the 15-minute when we had this change of character occurrence. Right, we got the proper pullback right here. Generate that as our low, and it came down. We got the change of character, so we can pull a fib from the high to the low because of that. So this is a kind of like our retracement zone. If we don't get the pullback for the entry, then so be it. Then we can just prepare for the shorts. Now, when it comes to the short, we could get a stronger continuation out of this valley area if we break this momentum, right? So we have this momentum that's been holding us up since 65K. So breaking that, getting that rotation to the valley area low, I'd then be looking at a move down to here, where we have this demand zone right here. Right? Remember we were talking about with the supply inducing a range resistance, right? We had demand here that induced a range support until we fully mitigated it. Now we have this guy here where we can get a range extension and bring us back up here. But we got a few scenarios that could come from that bounce, right? If we come down here and rotate this low, we can prepare for a retest of the value area and then a continuation down, or we can prepare for acceptance into the value area, then a higher high. And if we get the higher high after a retest like that, we might actually have a big macro trend up, because we did break downtrending momentum from the all-time high. For me, it would feel a little awkward if that were to happen, because we have so much liquidity below us. Like we'd had like really decent pullbacks climbing our way up here. So we got a decent liquidity curve that I feel like we should take, right? It just feels like we'll be trading on a glass floor if this were to occur. And I don't know, it just doesn't feel sustainable. But anyways, it's not up to us, it's up to the market, right? So when we get down there and we see that bullish structure at that hourly order block, we should just listen to the market and get out of our short. We also have an area of interest before this. We got where this little low is at 76,900. We have $107 million worth of liquidity there. So that could be used as entry liquidity for large traders who are trying to get in with the least amount of price impact, right? So think market makers. Like this could be a good area of interest for them. We also have a liquidity pool inside there too. So it's not like this might not be taken because of this liquidity kind of blocking it. But anyways, since we have this orb strategy kind of rules met, I'm waiting for the retest for the limit order right now and using the opposite side of the orb or this low here, this internal low, as my stop loss guard. It's a really good invalidation point. So if we get stopped out, then we know we're very wrong. We're likely to be coming down. So I'm going to get in that setup now. Limit order, which is nice, so we can save on fees. TP's percentage long. SL risking 1%. I'm using 11x leverage. Not that it really matters. You know, it only matters if you're thinking about using way too much leverage. This is a 0.5228 drawdown on the limit order, so you can use technically 100x, but really leverage is just meant as a tool to help control your margin, so you can use your margin for other trades. It's not about multiplying the size of your account. If you use it like that, you're not going to be trading for very long. It'll take you one loss and you can wipe out your account. Okay. So my limit order is going to be, and where's our targets? Got 786, sorry, TP's at 78767. Go lower than. Why is my, not that I'm complaining, but my R&R is a little too good. Oh, I see. All right, limit order set. Limit order's filled. All right. Seven. Let me just type this in. 938. Got a harsh reaction off the VWAP there. All right, cool. So just sit and wait. Let's take a peek at other assets while we wait on this. Let's take a look at the chat too. What's happening? What's up, Block Party? We got Curve Stars here. What's up, man? DP Crypto. Looking for a scalp short from the 15-minute breaker block above around the VWAP. Yeah, I'm looking for a short around there too. Do you think there's a world where we might go back down to 70K? Saw some liquidity down there. Yeah, I do think that. Yeah, for sure, it's possible. I'm actually kind of hopeful that we go down to 59K, right? So down here, like we have a big barrier at 70,950. You get the 61-day value area high. We got an order block there. We got some demand here. So it's like here we're gonna have to watch for sure. If we do got that like scenario where we have that strong continuation down, right? Then we have a big area of interest here, and we have a big area of interest at 69,200 area. We have the 250-day value area high there. We got a 12-hour order block cluster, so meaning there's like order blocks within order blocks within order blocks here. Like big area of interest here. So we'd have to take it one step at a time, but yeah, once we get that reversal structure, then we prepare, right? And like our first little thing we hit to watch for longs would be here and here. Kyle, what are the specific settings people should use when utilizing the coffee trading service? I got to create a user account so I can see how you guys see it, but I believe Blowfin has what's called smart copy, which means like whenever I'm entering with 1% of my risk, it enters in with 1% of yours. So yeah, if you're using the copy trader, then you basically want to set it up in a way where it allows me to control your risk the same way I'm controlling mine. Why didn't you wait for the change of character on the 1 minute time frame? Like it flipped bullish here already. And we had this like this posture here isn't a proper pullback. So we have like we're still in the bullish setting on the 1 minute, if that's what you're talking about. We're bullish on the 3 minute. We're bearish on the 15. So I'm expecting that this is gonna if we come up through here, we're going on the odds of the orb strategy. So the orb strategy odds is like a 54% win rate to the our 1 to 2. With the backing confluence of this uptrending momentum from 65K retracement to the golden pocket. Using the orb low as our guard and the internal unclaimed low as our stop loss. It's not a strong low or anything like that, but in order for it to be a strong low, we'd have to like take this low first, then get the break, and then we actually get that bullish change of character in that moment. And that's a trade that I'd normally take using like the clairvoyant strategy, which has much better win rate than 54%, and it's got like a 80% win rate. Yeah, we don't want this candle to engulf for sure. We get this close like halfway through the candle. We got a minute left. If it closes up here, it'd feel a lot better about the setup. I missed the trade breakdown. Stop loss is set here, like 77,500. You're looking at the internal low and orb. Like right here. My exact stop loss is at 77,516 and 60 cents. All right, candle closed. It created a bearish order block. That's no fun. Just gotta tap it here. Mitigate. Let's take a look at. Oh, we spoke about XLM. So XLM is its value area high. We've been ranging here for 85 days. We kind of got that head and shoulders kind of posture. But here's our main key area that we want to have broken. If we break this, then we have a bearish change of character at 1660. We have an hourly order block there, right, for demand, which could induce a bounce. Then we're expecting to hit our head around this order block right here. In order for us to get the R&R we need to our first primary barrier, we could target the value area low, of course, but we gotta be mindful of the fact that we could be getting a squeeze between the macro momentum and we have this opposing hourly order block here and this downtrending momentum here. We'll see what happens, but Solana's added 70-day point of control. And if we're looking at the internal, like our local value area, that's a bit noisy on this chart, but we got our local value area high, our local value area low. Right, we just had a decent move up, hit downtrend momentum, got this squeeze event occur, and we just broke it to the downside, and we're just currently finding support off this point of control. We got to watch out for like 84.48 for a potential liquidity sweep. But yeah, around here, you could be looking for a potential, like there's a 3-hour order block here. So we can be looking for a retracement to test that order block for shorts. When you're looking for longs, like the best spot for longs right now is like still around 81.44. More locally, we have 83.72. We got the 30-minute order block and our local value area low here. Potentially a liquidity sweep from this low at 82.91. And we're just looking for bullish structure at that moment. Ethereum pretty much did what we expected to do. We had our key level here. And we had a strong move up. We were mindful of this opposing order block here. Right, this is kind of technically the technical target for that posture. But we ended up going beyond it and got to our value area high. This was the value area high at the time. It's now around here. And then we just, kind of just collapsed alongside Bitcoin. For longs, I'll be looking around at 2,294. We can get a liquidity sweep from these lows. We got a key area of interest. This was demand. It's pretty much fully mitigated. Whereas now we're trying to kind of catching up to this 50-day EMA, where we could get a short-term long here again and potentially continue this range. Just got to look for structural agreement. It's like a bullish change of character at that moment. Yeah, Bitcoin's not looking too hot. We're getting really close to that uptrending momentum or below. Let's see how we do here. With our last little guardian, this is point of control and this momentum. If breaking this, then getting stopped. Yeah, stopped. So now down here, just about looking for that reversal structure now. Freaking Mondays. Well, that was our first loss in a very long time. Yeah, the first time I used the orb strategy in a live. So we get that break of structure. We can delete that. This could become an SFP if we close above it, but so what I'll be looking for now is like the reversal posture, either A, like right here at 76.9, or lower at this hourly order block if we get lower at this point. But we should be watching out for the potential that this valley area could act as resistance. Right, so if we get the long here, we got to watch the valley area acting as potential resistance. Even here. A decent amount of volume. In terms of news today, we got not today, sorry, this week. We have do we have anything impactful? FOMC funds rate. I agree with the forecast. I don't think there's gonna be changing anything. There's no real reason for them to be able to do any crazy changes. Other than like the jobs are looking bad, but yes, I'm just thinking that they're going to stick to 3.75. So I'm not expecting like a volatile event that day unless he says something wild. Other than that, there's nothing really going on. We got GDP coming out on Thursday. They're expecting more strength in the GDP. You got the PCE as well. Employment cost index. So you got a data day on Thursday and FOMC on Wednesday. Let's check out the chat here. Iron Grit, you took the SFP short. Oh, good job, man. That was a really good one. It's on a Sunday, which is awkward. But yeah, we got the right off the supply top. Like that's really clean. So at this point, if you're still holding that SFP Iron Grit, then once this candle closes below this wick, you could rotate your stop loss to here. You had the value area high guard. You have structural strong high. You would have the VWAP on your side. An order block guard. And lots of reasoning for us to not. Like, this is a really good invalidation point. If we SFP here, then the technical target is this high. Doesn't mean we have to hit it, but that's the technical target. $5 loss start of the week. I hear you. Yeah. Just noticed your hat. Nice. Yeah, it was a gift from a community member. I've had it for over a year now. Kyle, do you have copy trading set up on Bluefin? Yeah, I do. You just search up InvestiShare, but it won't pop up unless you've used our referral link, though. So you just got to sign up using the link in the description down below. It'll save you a bunch of money on trading fees, too. And we try to get you guys like awesome deals as much as we can. You get 20% of your fees back as USDT in your funding account, like 6 hours after your trade. Oh my sad saying Pingu looks like a good short. We could take a peek at that. One thing I'll never do with the copy trader is enter in on meme coin trades, though. There's slippage risk and all that stuff. All right. Last time we looked at Pangu, we were concerned about this guy. Right. This is a big supply zone. This was our first primary supply threat, and then we had this guy was our next one. We fought against it, built a pennant, broke to the upside, and now we're grabbing liquidity from this high. So Pangu's doing pretty good. We're definitely in an area of interest for preparing for our head being hit, of course. Let's delete some of this noise, though. We got our valley area here until we left it. You can delete this. Zooming in on this thing now. There's definitely an area of interest here. The previous highs, order block, demand. All right, zoom in on the 15. This is the 45 here, sorry. We had a 45-minute SFP. With the technical target of this low. You're awfully close to the 200-day EMA. Could pull a fixed range volume profile here to here before we used it as support and ran up. This is just a opposing confluence. So if we enter into a short and we end up getting a continuation, we'd watch this previous value area high in line with this 4-hour order block, right? So if we SFP, then we get the target here. If we get that change of character, then we'll be watching this as our first primary threat for an opposing reaction. So the invalidation point of the SFP for anyone who takes SFP trades is this high. So if you're looking for a short, your stop loss will be placed around here. Based on Bitcoin's positioning now that we got that rotation down, we got to be a little bit more cautious in case Bitcoin carries things up. But yeah, Pangu right now structurally looks pretty bearish. So good that you pointed that out. Like VWAP's a little bit against us, so you'd have to babysit around here. Close below VWAP, you'd feel better about the likelihood of getting that change of character, and then you can extend your target to down here. You're long now? Oh, okay, I see. Oh, you caught the VWAP. Good job, man. Check Farmer, how you doing? And Check Farmer won one of our giveaways last Friday. Victor too, yeah. Kyle, what will be the initial balance you'll be using to start your copy trading account? Right now I got $8,000 in it, but I plan on putting another 2,000 in it. I just trying to like move it around. Basically, I'm setting it up so that all my funds from my scalping account will be going into it, so that like all my trades will be forced to go through the copy trader. It just guarantees that you guys will be getting my win rate. Instead of me nitpicking trades, you know, you're getting all the trades that I would take. So you guys can get the, you know, the 85% win rate. So we won one, lost one so far. Since the copy trader started, at least, yeah. To basically break even. Yeah, the reason why it's break even though is because the first trade we got out at a 1-to-1 on this guy. We were shorting this. This was our target. Saw this aggressive bounce reaction, golfing candle response, and I closed the trade at the 1-to-1 along the way down. It was a weird scenario. Let's see. Thanks, Ron. Appreciate it, man. Any other assets you guys want to look at while we're waiting on Bitcoin to paint this picture? So like right now, Bitcoin's kind of like on the journey down to grab this $107 million worth of liquidity. If we go to like the heat maps, you can see a lot more clear. Like right here, it's a big cluster of $126 million. Sorry. So we can take that, and that could induce a bounce. Or we get the continuation to the next area of interest where the heat map starts to get hot again, which is at the hourly order block down here, this little demand zone. Right, so basically we're just looking for a bullish change of character here or here. And this guy right here is a trend-based VWAP that was pulled from the low from here forward. A community member brought it up, so I just want to keep an eye on it and see how we respond to it. It is not a type of hold that I'd normally do with the VWAP, like an anchored VWAP. It's there more for curiosity than for me to use it as confluence. All right, we just grabbed all that liquidity. Sweeping this low. Our current strong high is up here. So in order for us to get the structure that I would look for in the clairvoyant strategy, I would need to have a 2-candle pullback, the low to be taken again, and then the change of character, and then target the value area high. We did lose this macro momentum, so I wouldn't doubt seeing us get a stronger reaction down lower. And then here, we can look for longs if we do get that stronger reaction down. But then I'll be looking for a potential exit at the value low in hopes for the continuation. But we got to be mindful of the fact that we could hit our head here and come right back down. Thanks for your alpha on Pengu today and the other day. No problem. Any chance you can share your thoughts on Ondo? Yeah. XLM. We spoke a little bit on XLM already, but we can do that too. Let's pull up Ondo really quick. We have an Ondo chart, and then we'll look at XLM. Last time we looked at Ondo was on the 23rd. What were we looking at? Okay, we were talking about this double bottom, change character, stop loss on the internal low. Watch out where we could hit our head here at the supply, which is our first little supply warning here. The main threat was here, but it looks like, yeah, you definitely had to exit around here. You would have gotten stopped out based on what I was suggesting if you held through that. And then here we got this bullish change, bearish change character that would have told me to get out for sure. Trend a little bit alongside that for a little bit longer. Looks like we hit our head off the 81-day value area high and then came down. So we got that harsh reaction just like Bitcoin did. Let's zoom out though. Zoom out even further. We just got to adapt our fixed range volume profile pole. So we have a weird wick in the low side, so our anchor's way down here. It's marked as 81 days, but it's longer than that now. We're at 85-day value area now. Time creates strength with value areas. All right. I'm looking, let's start at the 4 hour for a second. We have an hourly order block down here. If you guys want this order block indicator, just search up order block, multi-time frame order blocks with confluence. It's 100% free. I do have a bug I need to fix on it when it comes to the fair value gap confluence. It's not reading all the fair value. In fact, I think it's just like removing all the indicator, like all the order blocks instead. It's kind of easy to identify it yourself. Like we had that happen like right here, for example. Right, we had this order block created, and it created we had I can't speak right now. A fair value gap creation on the confirming candle. We mitigated that fair value gap, but we didn't tap the order block. So we can delete this box now. We can delete, or we can move this one. So when price action returns to this area at any point, we have to prepare for the fact that there might be residual sell orders there. That's what order blocks are all about. The potential chance of having residual buy or residual sell orders in an area of interest. And they work a lot better at value area highs and value area lows, or at gold pocket confluence or 786 confluence. And we lost momentum on this. We can delete this noise now. So similar to Bitcoin, we're losing momentum. We can look for that rotation down. We have a big key area of interest at 25.35 right here. But the best place for longs or for a potential exit plan on shorts is down here at the value area low at 24.83. Kind of end this liquidity curve, right? And we can grab all that liquidity and prepare for a long around this area of interest here. We have an hourly order block, so if we do deviate lower, we can prepare for amazing longs down here. Ondo is a very, very predictable asset. So if you're looking for a ranged type strategy, or if you're a range trader and you're looking for an asset for range trading, this one's amazing. So once you get to the value area low, you're basically just looking for like bullish changes of character at the value area low. Like here we had one, here we had one, like here we had one, like here we had one. And every time we had it, we got that rotation to the value area high without getting stopped out using that strong low, right? I've noticed when it comes to like the top side though, like you pretty much just got to exit at your targets. You can't just use opposing structural warnings to tell you it's time to get out, because you tend to get these harsh like V-shaped rejections, right? So you kind of just got to get out at your value high. You can't just hope for a continuation. A continuation structure. I'm not saying it's like that all the time, but it is most of the time. All right, cool. So yeah, my pathing, watch out for bounces here. Watch out for bounces here, and then just look for bullish changes of character at the value low, and then you're set for longs again. Bitcoin's getting a little bit lower. We might not get that pull back here. I would not mind Bitcoin just going straight down to like 59K one last time. Because then what would happen, we'd get our daily structural key level right now is at like 97. What's the actual number? 96,654. Right? So what if you take this low, then it'll rotate to the high that we just created. That's super macro talk, but in a perfect world. So what we're basically asking for from Bitcoin right now is a 2 candle pullback, and then the low to be taken that we create prior to that pullback, and then we'll have a good strong high to go off of to warn people to get out of their shorts when that strong high breaks, or to warn people to jump into longs when it breaks. We have this downtrending momentum here. It's a little bit broad, so if we were to range until we fill that negative space, we could suggest that we could be stuck here until like around 2 or 3 a.m. Doesn't have to be the case, but I'd be surprised how often that pans out. XLM, right. So XLM, this scenario, kind of similar to what we saw with Ondo. It got to its value area high. Where we have a change of character occurrence happening like right now on the hourly, right? This key level here that we have marked. We are also bouncing off an hourly order block right now. So its positioning is good relative to Bitcoin, like Bitcoin being at a value area low, preparing for a potential reversal up, where we could then end up maybe hitting our head at the value area low or this order block that we just created. If we get rid of some of this noise, it's easier to see. Right, we created like a 15-minute order block here. So that structural positioning confluence could have XLM doing something like that as well. Get the bearish change of character, pull back for the R&R that we need, hitting this. We got a 4-hour order block here. We got an hourly here. And then we can look for a move down to this hourly order block and potential continuation to the value area low at 1529. We have proper risk to reward ratio. If we do get that pullback to the order block, you can use low time frame structure to define your entry, like a bearish change of character on maybe the 15-minute or the 5-minute once we get there. And then you can either use the lower time frame strong high as your stop loss, or you could use this external high as your stop loss. And yeah, babysit around 16 cents and then hope for the continuation down to as low as like 15.24. So is Bitcoin heading back to our hourly or block zone? 76,200. Yeah, we're looking at that as our next area of interest. We don't have to get here, but it's really good confluence for potential longs. This is actually enough. What we just had happen here is kind of enough for a reversal. We just grabbed like $100 and some million for liquidity, and we're bouncing off a trend-based VWAP. We didn't SFP this on the 15-minute. We could maybe on the hourly. Yeah. You have 28 minutes left on the hourly to find that SFP. That hourly SFP technical target is the high, but high win rate targeting for SFP is looking at the most recent pullback and targeting that instead. The invalidation point for the hourly SFP would be this low. But it'd be good to look at lower time frame structural gradients. I'll let you guys know if I jump in along. I just noticed it's like the first long I've taken a long time. I've been using, mostly getting in on the shorts. The longs have been sprinting. Yeah, our last long was on the 13th of April. We're doing mostly shorts. Yeah, quick scalp on March 26th. Yeah, all we've really been doing is shorts. It's just been so much easier getting those short plays. Saeed, how you doing, man? Getting close to the zone, yeah. Kyle, based on Wyckoff distribution, highest high was a UT and a TT, I guess now. You know, good sweep up there. It's awfully close to giving us equal highs. Let's see if we get our first green candle. Ethereum's at value area low for this. Where are we at? 13-day range. 50-day EMA is kind of creeping up. Yeah, $2,000 is like Bitcoin's equivalent is around. Is it 70,000? Yeah, 70,900. Which price are we looking for a long? A long scalp is 76,400. That's where we're looking at an area where we are preparing for a bullish change of character. So we need a bullish change of character once we get there before jumping into longs. We could get it here too. Like we have enough of what we need here. But pretty much once we breach a value area low, you're in long mode. You're just looking for structure to agree for longs. If it doesn't agree, then you hold your shorts for continuations. So anyone on SFP up here, you're basically using strong highs at that point to mark your new stop loss. So once we have that bullish change of character, stop loss rebuys are triggered in the spot environment. You can induce a bounce. So we already have the positioning. We're just waiting for the structural agreements, and that structural agreements will likely happen here or here. And if it doesn't, then we're just going to keep going down. Someone's car alarm going off right now outside. How do you draw a perfect visible range volume profile? So visible range, you don't have to draw those ones unless you're talking about the fixed range. So these ones here, you're talking about. You want your row size to be 200. This one, I can go over both. You're probably meant the fixed range. Visible range is based on the candlesticks that are on your chart, right? So if I zoom out, it's going to include that data, right? Which can be helpful when you're looking at a macro environment, like zooming way out in a macro environment. But when you're like trying to trade, it's not. I kind of hate it because it's gonna constantly evolve and you won't be able to zoom in, zoom out, stuff like that. But it's good for macro views. Now when it comes to the fixed range volume profile, there are many ways you can draw it, but you can draw it in a trend-based pull, just like a lot of tools that can alter based on trend or based on ranges. So a trend-based pull is when you're pulling from like an extreme high or an extreme low, right? And you're trying to find out a key area of interest. So when you have jumped in on the contrarian entry, let's say we go from here to here, you can be watching out for like the volume nodes area of interest along the way. Now, if you're doing it based on like how I'm doing it with the clairvoyant strategy, so you can have like a really helpful data to help you understand like key areas for reversals. What you're mainly looking for is a area of supply or demand. So first, you want to look for something like this, impulse move down, then a bullish change of character, then preferably a bearish change of character or a flip, right? During that moment, you have a mature range. So you can pull a fixed range volume profile. Let me just draw two scenarios. Okay. So in this moment, if we just use the supply as resistance, which we usually do the first time around, you pull a fixed range from here to here. If we mitigate it, like we did in this scenario, where we come up and we like fill up that supply and then we start coming down, then you can include the supply in your pull. Same thing with the demand version coming up, like a strong impulse move up, basic structure, opposing change of character, bullish change of character. Then you have mature value area. If we come down and mitigate it, then you can include that in your pull, that demand. So looking at the local scenario, right? We had like demand, let's go to 15 minute. We had demand here, impulse move up. We had that bearish change of character. Then we had the bullish change of character. So during that moment, we had a mature range, and we mitigated that demand at the time. So we included that into our pull, right? We have demand down here, but we're not including it into our data set because we haven't mitigated and we haven't had acceptance into the value area yet. And the moment we get that bullish change of character off of that area and we have acceptance into the value area with our first break of structure in the value area, then we can include this into our pull. Which would give us a really accurate data set for us to prepare for key levels inside that this volume, like newly formed volume node, newly formed range, to prepare for longs at the value area low and shorts at the value area high. And then really what we look for once we have this value area is just the changes of character that happen above and below it for our shorts and longs. I hope that helps you out. That's like one example. Let's see, we got another example here. We got impulse move up, demand, right? Change of character against us, change of character here. So at that point where we have those two changes of character, we start our pull, but we don't include the demand in this scenario because we didn't come down and mitigate it, right? We held above it. So like you could, but what will happen is it'll drag your value area data in a way where it reduces your chances of like being able to prepare. Like this is refinement. Like what we're doing is refinement of our value area data. That's actually, this data set's going to help us like prepare for longs when it's appropriate or prepare for shorts when it's appropriate. Because sometimes when you add data that's not going to be helpful, it will drag your value areas around, your value area high, your value area low, sometimes your points of control, in a way where you won't be preparing for the trade on time, like SFPs at value area highs, right? Or SFPs at value area lows, bullish changes of character at value area lows. Let's see. Yeah, I can go on for hours with this stuff. Here's a short version though. We have supply created here, came down, bullish change of character, bearish change of character. Start doing your pull from here to here, right? Until we came up, we mitigated it, and then we can include that into your pull as soon as you have acceptance into the value area, right? So this is where we got a change of character out of value area high. It was really helpful for our short, targeting the value area low. We got another one here, change of character, target the value area low. We had a bullish change of character here we could have entered a long off of, but I guess we missed that one. Right, and then target the value area high. That would have done really well too. This all this stuff is included in the course, guys. So if you're interested in learning about it, I go over in great detail there in a rule-based format, so you can what you're looking for. Write down the list. Once that list is checked off, then you can jump into a trade. And you don't have to buy the course like separately. It's all included in your membership too. Now that we're in on a golden pocket, you wait for order block for more security. you could wait for an order block to be created. If we're in a golden pocket zone, I'm guessing you're looking at the impulse golden pocket from here to the high. Yeah. Like I said before, like this is we're in criteria for longs now. We do not have to hit the order block, but if it's a rule that you need to have happen for your trade entry, then you can take it. We have an hourly candle closing very soon in 14 minutes that will confirm an SFP. The invalidation would be on this low. What I want to have happen, what I am looking for, like it doesn't have to be the order block tap. It would be nice if we got it. I just need a 2 candle pullback, then the low to be taken, and then a bullish change of character. Our current key level for a change of character is way the heck up here. So it's way too high up. So I need to have a proper pullback, low to be taken, then change of character. Then I'll feel comfortable leading in like a bunch of people into a trade. And those are the rules that I usually follow 90% of the time because it has a really, really, really high win rate. Today was a little bit different because we had a lot of confluences and used the orb strategy. The orb strategy has been killing it. So I took advantage of it, and the one time I did, it was a losing trade. Four-hour closing confluence too. Nice. Okay. So we have a multi-time frame SFP. Thanks for pointing that out, man. Yeah, that'd be great. We got the 4-hour technical targets, basically the same as the hourly. Suggest to move to here. But you got to watch it for the opposing confluences along the way, like POC, 4-hour order block. We got our first green candle. It is an inside bar candle though, which sucks. This is inside bar. When you have a mother candle like this, you need the low to be breached or the high to be breached in order for the pullback to be considered healthy, like proper. $15-minute wave, 5 wave. Do you have a Discord group where you give it signals? Yep. Yeah, we do that. Yeah, let you guys know of my trade plan. I try to write it up in a way where it's really transparently easy to follow, like entry condition, 15-minute candle close below whatever number, or pullback for confirmation. So what was this trade? This was last week. We did this short together. Got the change of character. Then I'll say like if I'm setting a limit order or not. I usually will set up a limit order if I don't trust the trade. Right? I mean, if I don't trust if I don't like the R&R, but I trust the trade, you know what I mean? So that was this trade set up here. We entered in on a limit order here. There was a sell wall. We had uptrending momentum retest, change of character at the value area high, targeting the demand. Right? Very, very easy trade. And that was right after like mitigating the entire macro supply. But yeah, that's how I kind of do my setups there. With my signals, I'll tell you like the trade plan, what we're waiting for the conditions, Just need a candle. I look for candle closes for price acceptance. Like price acceptance is really, really, really important for my strategy. So a candle close will dictate whether or not we enter. Like price reaching it is not enough. We need to have a close above or below key levels. And I'll tell you when I move my stop loss, like all that stuff. This one's another example. Just waiting for a candle body close below 7,386. We were in a 4-hour order block at that time. We're targeting 74,900. Where I'm moving my stop losses and why. It's usually just based on market structure. Yeah. Easy peasy. But the main reason why I give it the signals is like so people can just either A, make money, of course, is great, but it's also so you can study how I'm jumping into the trade. Because I'm not just like giving a signal, I'm telling you like why I'm getting in so you can learn from it. The goal is to teach you guys how to fish on your own instead of, me, I'll do confidence levels post too. So if you have your own rules that you want to follow, I'll tell you like what key levels we're looking for shorts or longs. Lately, just shorts. What is the name of the course? It's the 30-day trader blueprint course. So it's included in any membership that you choose when you join. I can pull it up with the criteria. Let me pull up the curriculum for you. This is what it looks like on the inside if you're interested. So you have day 1, you're basically just learning about your trading tools. Day 3, you're learning about your exchanges, how to use them, your risk management. On day 4, I want you guys learning about risk management before anything else. Candlestick basics, market structure, liquidity, supply and demand, trend lines, formations, measurable moves, the targets, the momentum-based targeting, identifying a range, understanding value areas. So on day 14, you learn about value areas. You learn about tokenomics on day 15. Day 16, you learn about indicators. This is going to be a really fast-growing section very soon. I'm going to be adding a bunch of stuff to this. Basically, if you guys request for me to make videos about certain indicators, it's going to be added into there. I'm also going to be making YouTube videos on that too. So strategy building on day 17, so you can learn how to make your own strategy. Day 18, how to backtest. 19, liquidity reversion model strategy. So this is a strategy we built together as a community, where we've actually, when we build strategies together as a community, what we started doing is automating the signals for them. So like, I'll show you when the targets, like where your stop loss is going to be, target, when the targets hit, when your stop loss is hit, right? Very simple. So we're trying to make mechanical based strategies together once in a while, and then we'll put it in the course so you can learn how to trade it. Bollinger Band strategy. This one's made me quite a bit of money. Very easy. Like when my son was 8 years old, like he was able to follow the rules because like he had no association to like money at that time. So it was very like basically it was just like a video game. Like here's the 3 rules. Like what do you need to have met? Do we enter along here? Yes or no? And then he'll be able to say yes or no. And they get like 80% chance of being right. The trend hunter strategy, the clairvoyant strategy, which is my main strategy. I've been working on this one since like Yeah, I've been trading this one since 2022, I believe. Yeah. And I've done about 600, 700 trades with it since 2022, with an 80% win rate. Day 23, you learn about reverse ratio Fibonacci strategy. I talk about that a lot during the lives. The sleeping dragon strategy is just David's strategy. Basically, it's a swing trading strategy. So if you're a busy guy, this is the one that you should go with. Golden cross strategy is like everyone on the planet knows this one. Very easy. On-chain data analysis, so you can learn how to read on-chain data. On-mission strategy, so that's an on-chain strategy telling you when to call the exact top, how to call the exact bottom of the big macro picture. We use this to help guide us into massive trades. Mindset, I want to add more to that too. Funding trading accounts, I'm going to be adding more to this too. And the final day is just knowing how to, when to quit your job and stuff like that. I'm also building a whole separate course on that, so you can know how to manage your taxes, your a bunch of non-financial advice stuff. You know what I mean? Like how to do your taxes, how to manage your accounts, like how big your account size should be in order to cover your expenses. All that stuff. Bitcoin right now, we're getting that engulfing response. If we close below this candle's wick, we'll get a bearish order block on the 15-minute. Is there a coupon code for elite membership? Yep, right now if you use /half, that's the one that you guys made on Friday. Yeah, /half will give you 50% off right now. Do you recommend starting with this one then? Yes, yeah. I recommend starting with that one. I would recommend starting with that before you even start following the signals, just so you know how to manage your risk properly. I could give you 9 out of 10 winning trades, but if the 10th loss, like the 10th trade that we lose on, you could end up losing your entire account if you don't know how to manage your risk, right? It makes, you need to understand risk management in order for you to turn this from gambling into a career, right? Where you can actually cover your expenses and rely on your income, right? Without proper risk management, this is nothing but gambling. Or when you backtest a strategy and you understand its percentage-based win rate, like for example, let's go into the orb strategy. We create an orb indicator strategy here. Like here, we have a 55% win rate. Now you could, like 55% doesn't sound very high, but people beg for this win rate, right? So if you win 55% of the time and you're aiming for 1 to 2 risk to reward ratios, and you're making it so that you only risk to lose like either 0.5% or 1%, and you keep being as consistent as possible with that, your gains are always going to outweigh your losses. And you'll be able to predict exactly how much money you should make this month or next month or the month after that based on trends, right? Because you can analyze everything in part of your strategy. You can see like how well does this usually do during a bear market? How well does this do during the bull market? How well does this do on Mondays? How well does it do on Fridays? How well does it do on the month of January or the month of November, right? You can find out all that data through backtesting, and having that information in your mind allows you to completely remove the emotion from trading and just focus on the odds, right? And I find that emotions are the biggest, like a trader's worst enemy. If you have that sense of uncertainty, you don't know how the probability between the outcome of your, entry and your target being hit or your stop loss being hit, then it's very easy for you to get emotional in trading. So, just got an alarm go off. Let's see. What was that alarm for? Solana's horizontal ray. So we just tap the 30-minute order block on Solana. Tyler just joined as a member. Welcome, man. Yeah, once you join, the first thing you want to do after like checking out the course and stuff like that is go to HTTPS. Sorry, I don't mean to read that out loud. Investor.com/Discord. And if you're from another community, like let's say you're from like Wave Cipher, or if you're from Alexo Crypto's community, make sure you use this affiliate link so that way they earn, right? But here you come to the Discord page and you can verify your role, and then you get your roles added and you can start following along the signals. It's not just me giving out signals. There's other like team members as well. So with the orb strategy, we got the breakdown. That was the entry condition for a short. You guys will get access to this indicator very, very, very soon. But it tells you where to put your stop loss, where to enter, where to TP1, where to TP2. That I was surprised to find out that the Tokyo session has like a 66% win rate. What was it? Wait, I just posted that recently. 63% win rate with a 1.97 profit factor, which is rarely good. And that's focusing on like closing at your TP1 is a 1-to-1, but you're closing 20% there, and the remaining amount of your position at a 1-to-4, which is absolutely insane. For a strategy with only 2 rules, like that's nuts. And I'll have this strategy added to the course too, so you guys can learn about it. But it's honestly very, very straightforward. VWAP on your side, and then you're waiting for the orb break, using the opposite side of the orb as your stop loss, entering on the orb break, or at least on the. You can look for a retracement, but you don't always get it like this, for example. We took the orb break high today and got our butt kicked. And I just thought all that confluence that came with us was good, but just for a short retracement to the golden pocket. And here we are looking for our longs again. Do we just get a 4-hour change of character? We can take a look. Nazaruk just joined us member. Welcome, man. We did, yes. So the candle didn't close above this wick. If it closed above the wick, we would have gotten an SFP, but instead we got the bearish change of character, which is honestly a strong sign that we could be going down. This is an area of interest for a bounce. So since we got that bearish change of character, we could get that bounce, retrace, hit this order block, and then come down, retesting here. So this is going to become like a make it or break it moment for Bitcoin. What I mean by that is like here, if we get the bounce, we're kind of like testing momentum, right? This is macro momentum from the all-time high. So if we bounce here and we get the acceptance into the valley area, we have that opportunity where we can come back up to these highs again and basically confirm this macro momentum as support. But if we get this bounce here, I'm anticipating a bounce here no matter what, but if we get the bounce here and we get a rejection, then we should get out, because that would confirm, basically this would just be a retest to a double top, or like a Wyckoff model. So just be mindful of the fact that we could use this value area as resistance. We don't have to get that acceptance for the continuation. We hit our head here, we could be coming back down. And this could be a good macro trend move down. And that rejection, if we do get that rejection, and then the lower low, that would define the momentum for the way down. Just like we have this momentum for the way up that's been holding us up since 65K, what you want to wait for is the change of character, and then the retracement, and then the higher high. The moment you get that, like we had here, that's when you can start monitoring momentum and assuming support when we get to it. When I say assume, I don't mean like entering along every time we get to it, but use it as confluence and prepare for the setup when we get there. And you can use the order books as a tool to notify you if there is buyer's interest there or if there's seller's interest there, right? The order books from, you can use CoinGlass, for example, and see how many limit orders are in one spot, right? If you see a giant buy wall or a sell wall on your trend line, that validates your trend line, that there are other traders agreeing with it. And it also helps you refine where to put your trend line, because sometimes trend lines are subjective. Like you could, move it around a little bit like this. You want to be like, order books will help you like refine. Okay, there's the sell walls right there. I'm going to put my like trend line right there, kind of thing. So here, for example, with this momentum, we could look at potential sell wall being at the value area low and downturning momentum here if we were to retest that. And this is kind of more of a picture perfect example. It happens all the time. But if I were to anticipate resistance today, that's pretty much how I'd anticipate it. Bullish change of character potentially here. And we watch our head here. I hope you're doing well. How restrictive is using the free tier of TradingView plus free indicators? It keeps getting more and more restrictive. So, I think it's 3 indicators, and I could be wrong because I feel like they keep taking away from the free plan. And you also can't get access to like certain indicators, like I don't think you can get access to the visible range volume profile, but you can with the fixed, which is kind of weird because I feel like you get more value from the fixed. And they definitely take some stuff away, but I think it's 2 or 3 indicators. It used to be 5 when I first started trading in like 2019. I did not know you're affiliated with Alex Crypto. He's a good guy. Yeah, him and I we met each other in person before. He's more of a scalp, like really scalp, quick trades, in and out, really fast. And I'm more of a kind of range bound kind of trader. Get in the top of the value areas, top or bottom value areas, sorry. You're blocked? What do you mean by blocked? Yeah, reach out to me and I can maybe help you out. I'm not sure. If you got blocked and then you might have misunderstood something, because sometimes he might peg you as a scammer by accident. Shoot me a message and I can talk to him and see what's going on. Is the rising wedge pattern confirmed? Waiting on. Yeah, you could look at this as a rising wedge. We got squeezed from this uptrending momentum here and this uptrending resistance. Volume started, I wouldn't say it dwindled, like it came down a bit. Normally with rising wedges, what you'll see is these situations where volume's really strong and it gets lower and lower in volume as we get closer to the apex point, and that apex point usually comes with an area of confluence where buyers' interests start to go down, and that would come with a really good story of what's going on now, right? We have just hit the supply top for this macro range here, right? So it makes a lot of sense for buyers' interest to slowly like go down from a squeeze like this. The technical target for the rising wedge is this low at like 73.9 area. But for me, man, like I would say the confirmation came for the rising wedge target after we got the 4-hour change character. You always want to, like, if you're trading off formations, use formations as a tool for your measurable targeting, but don't enter when a trend line breaks. Enter when structure agrees. So for example, structure agrees right now that we're going down from this 4-hour change of character. You don't have to ape in right at this moment. We are anticipating a bounce. So yeah, I agree with the idea that, yeah, we got squeezed into a wedge and that we could be coming down because of it. But I am preparing for a bit of a bounce first. And then I'll be looking for a potential short if we use the value area as resistance. I feel more comfortable longing at value area lows, but we will do that once in a while. We had a really, really good like 1 to 6 short when we took this trade. It's easier to dissect this in the lower time frames, but we broke this value area low and we used it as resistance, and that's when we jumped into a short on the lower time frames there, and basically just used strong highs on the 15 minutes to guide us into moving our stop loss. But yeah, you got to visualize with the macro picture. You can be in a value area low in a short-term range, but the bigger picture, you could be deviated from like a macro value area high. And that's what's going on right now too. We deviate away from like a 61-day value area high. So we could come down to retrace to come back to it. With like little boss barriers along the way. So the swing traders would have their eyes open right now looking for a trade. This could be a multi-day short that we could prepare for here. If you're using 4-hour time frame, this is your strong high, and you'll be looking for a retracement as close as you can to that strong high for your entry. So your stop loss will be pretty steep. I think it's not that bad. If MMT gets their drawing tools a bit better, I won't even need TradingView anymore. Yeah, MMT is stepping up their game, man. This is the first time where I feel like TradingView might not have a monopoly over charts. The MMT is good. There's a lot of them, honestly. CoinGlass Legends, guys, is a good one too. That's a free one. You're bumping into annoying limits on TradingView, so I've been considered buying one of those tiers. What I'd recommend doing, especially if you're new to trading and you're thinking about upgrading your TradingView, stick to the monthly plan, but once November comes, upgrade for the year, because you get like 80% off, and then they normally have like the price differences between tiers are ridiculous. Sometimes they'll do like $1 difference between Pro and like the mid-tier plan. That's what I do. Every November, I pay for like the yearly. And you can even stack years too. You can pay for like 2 years in advance. Gragas. We need to have 4-hour below the last week for the chalk. No. We already got the 4. So the 4-hour here. We were internal for a while, but after we came up here, we finally grabbed the external structure. But here we got our proper pullback. Generate this as our low. We need at least a 2 candle pullback, right? Then we swept the high, giving us an SFP, right? So if we have an SFP, that's like a target of the, it targets the strong low at that point. But we closed below here, giving us that bearish change of character. So this is our strong high on the 4-hour. But we can easily pull back, but our invalidation point now for us from going down is way up here. So as a trader, your goal is to try to get as best risk to reward ratio as you can, of course. But the trend, the market structure is suggesting the trend is starting to reverse. So I'm anticipating a bounce here. We can get a bounce here. And then we have to watch this valley area potentially act as resistance, or maybe even this order block up here, like a golden pocket kind of retracement scenario. Something like this. But this is our invalidation point. Yeah, Black Friday. Yeah, exactly, Chris. Your Bybit chart has a different chart from Binance. Yes, your Bybit price action, any exchange is going to have unique liquidity and unique price points. They're usually off by about 20, sometimes $100. So you might get a change of character on Bybit and you might not on Binance. But if I were to make you want to pick the exchange that has the best liquidity when it comes to listening to which one you should go with. Obviously, if you're trading on Binance and you don't have the change of character, you should wait for it to happen. You don't, because then what could end up happening is you could end up choosing your bias on a setup based on the chart, whatever chart agrees with your bias. Just like how some people will rotate timeframes when they shouldn't to find a time frame that agrees with their bias, and that could really mess you up. But yeah, I like listening to the exchanges with the most amount of liquidity and the most amount of trade participants. And Bybit has, I think, the best liquidity in the space. Okay, Andrew here. What's up, man? May 14th, TradingView is increasing the prices again. That's brutal. That's one way to push people away. Can you explain how you confirm a change of character? Please be very specific. I'm retarded. No, it's a weird subject, man. It sometimes takes months for people to understand market structure. And there are sometimes unique scenarios where my brain gets tied too. So in a line graph format, this is what it looks like. You'll have scenarios where price action comes up, and I want you to visualize this as if it's 2 candles. All right, every pullback is 2 candles at least. All right, because if you don't have 2 candles as a minimum requirement for a pullback, then it's not a proper pullback. Okay, so that's rule number 1 when it comes to pullbacks. You need to have at least 2 candles to define the pullback, and it needs to be consecutive in a row. 2 candle pullback consecutively. So we come up, we pull back, and once we have a 2 candle pullback, we create what's called an unclaimed high. Okay? And once we take that unclaimed high with a candle body close, then we create a strong low, right? And then we pull back again. We create an unclaimed high, also known as a wake high. We come up, we take that, create a new strong low. And every time we take these, this is called a break of structure, right? Until one time we come down and we break the strong low. And if we do that, that's called a change of character, right? If you have something like this where it gets a little bit tricky, we pull back, right? And then we go up, we don't take the high, and we come down. This is not a change of character. This is like an internal break of structure, right? Or what other people might call a bearish flip. So, because these are bearish on their own, but they don't have as much backing and probability as a change of character would. Because a change of character comes up and grabs stop losses and newly formed liquidity before going down. So we have less reasoning to keep going up. So once we have that bearish flip, then we can get our change of character down here from a candle body close. And this changes based on the time frame you're looking at. So you can have a 4-hour change of character, you can have a 15-minute change of character, you can have a 1-minute change of character. But the rules are with most things in trading, the higher the time frame, the stronger the probability, right? So if you have a daily change of character, it's much more potent than a 15-minute change of character. And depending on which time frame you're looking at, you could define what kind of strategy that you trade. So like a 5-minute change of character or a 15-minute change of character can really help you with scalp trading, like ranges. But like a 6-hour change of character might not help you very much with like scalping a range. It might help you with a trend-based move, but not so much with like scalping a range. Ryan, welcome to the community, man. Signed up as for the year. I appreciate the trust when it comes to year stuff, guys. Like, most people sign up for a month or so before and try it out, and then there's others who just jump in on the yearly like that. Appreciate it. All right, so that's what it looks like in a line kind of format. Now, when you're drawing it like this, it's very easy to say like this is a change of character and stuff like that. But in a realistic format, you're gonna get something like this, right? It's gonna be kind of all over the place. So it's really just about like drawing as much as you can. This is how you practice. You draw it all out. I recommend using like the pathing tool, or you can use the brush. And your goal is just to paint out, okay, you see a high, look for 2 candle pullback. We got one here, nice. Here's our low. We came actually lower. We had some internal moves here. Then we came up, we broke this high. We came down. We didn't take the low, so we're still bullish. We came up, we pulled back a little bit, but that's internal. We came all the way up. We finally broke this high, got that bearish, we got that bullish change, not bullish change, break of structure. Then we came down, we swept the high, and then we got the bearish change of character, right? So to practice market structure, that's what you should be doing. You should be painting it all out. And I just went over the basics, which is basically external price action, but there's also internal, which makes things a little bit more tricky sometimes, where you could have these moments where we, like this, now we come up, come down, right? Pull back. And then we can have like these, like this moment here, we had a pull back, higher high, and then we got this break here, we got this change of character, but that's an internal change of character because we haven't breached the high or the low. So everything that's happening in between here is internal. And sometimes you can get stuck in internal price action for a long time. Internal price action is typically weaker than external. What you basically have to do when you're trading internal price action is understand what the external bias is. So if you're looking here and we know that we're bullish, you can look at internal price action and see like maybe a break of structure and be great. Or you can see an internal opposing change of character like this. And you'd have to know that this is a strong low that is guarded and we might not come down and take it, right? Your internal structure, if it's opposing against the external bias, then it makes things a little less likely to trust that we're going to go down very far. And you can use valley areas too, like this, to help dictate key barriers where you can get a bounce off of too. Lots of stuff talk to each other. Market structure will talk to your valley areas. And market structure will talk to like Fibonacci. Like they all kind of talk to each other, and understanding which indicators will talk with each other or argue with each other is important too. And I know I might be overcomplicating things when I say that, but some indicators contradict other indicators, so they won't work well with each other. And over time, you're going to be able to understand, okay, like certain momentum-based indicators won't work well with other stuff, right? Sorry for the rant, but yeah, yeah. Can we check the cubic chart? Yeah, we can do that. I haven't looked at cubic in a while. I wonder how it's doing. Today's Monday. Okay. Just making sure I'm not missing anything in my head right now. I just got rid of my PVSRA. Go to the daily. How is this guy doing? Not great, eh? We had some really good setups on cubic. Like this long here. I don't like talking about these price points with cubic because it's like everything's like, yeah, it has so much supply. But anyways, yeah, we went into price discovery on cubic, which kind of sucks. Its tokenomics isn't that bad. It just doesn't seem to, just not doing well right now. Let's delete some of this noise. That goes to show you how long it's been since we looked at it. So let's map this out. I'm going to right click and I'm going to clean this entire chart. All right, we can map it out as if it's a brand new chart. So the first thing I like to do when I start a brand new chart is I'll look at the daily. So I'll grab a trend line. Let's see what we are in terms of a trend line based momentum, right? We have this downtrending momentum from its first liquidity on Gates. This is Gates Exchange. So this might not be the whole history. So we can't assume that this is price discovery, but it could likely very be. We had this evolving momentum that occurred here that we broke to the upside. We can start marking our order block. So we have a daily order block here. Okay. I like to mark how old they are. Then I'll clone it. Right click and clone. Make it faster to mark these up. And we got another one up here. Not saying we're going to get there again, but it's good to be aware. Okay. So we got our daily order blocks marked. They're all bearish. Now we can go down to the 6 hours. The time frame I'd like to jump into next. Sometimes I'll go to the 8 too. The 6 hour, we can see that we have a bullish order block here. We have a demand here too, right? So we can mark up we got the bearish one first up here. Set it back. We got our bullish one right here that we almost tapped. Instead, we added liquidity here. If we don't mitigate an order block and we're that close to it, you got to visualize the fact that there could be liquidity there in the form of stop losses, in the form of liquidations, right? So when we get back down there, we have that confluence now that we can get a bounce there. So it's our 6 hour. We have a decent demand down here, but we got, we could mark that up in case we return down there. I would actually mark this whole thing here as an area of interest to front run those 6 hour order blocks that we have down there. We could draw a fixed range volume profile from here to here. We can look at the fact that we just mitigated the supply, similar to Bitcoin in that sense, where we mitigated supply, but we had relative weakness ever since. So it's kind of leading the drop that we're seeing there. We got momentum that we can draw. We had internal that's already broken. This is only 2 touch points. 2 touches is a theory, 3 is a pattern. So you definitely have to look at the order books. We want to mark this wick level low. So we take that low, then this will become a key area right here for longs. You could always front run it, of course, but this is kind of like one of those scenarios where if you're already in an existing long from down here, you're going to hope for a close above here. So you can get that bullish change of character and come back up to the value area high, where you can be kind of mindful of the supply. We kind of tapped into it already a bit, but we got about 50% of it mitigated. So you can mark this value area high as an area of interest for targeting or for shorts. We've been up here for 48 days. This does not look like 48 days. That's what the 6 hour time frame will do to your mind. So we go to the 15-minute and dissect things. The 15 minutes great for understanding like what the 15 minutes usually the time frame that starts trends. Like you get into like a long at a value area low, and then you're going to be watching the value area high in hopes for a continuation from there. So here we're kind of looking for, we took this low here on the 15 minutes, so this is a strong high on the 15. Right, so if we get that break, we'll break momentum by then at a value area low. And then we just be watching the point of control along the way in hopes that we break above this for a continuation. But until then, we have to assume resistance here. Because we got to remember, this was marked on a much higher time frame, and we got supply right here. So even though, yes, this is like a 48-day value area low, we're also still in a lower time frame value area here. And we deviated below that value area. Our local point of control is in line with the macro point of control. So this is going to be like a big boss along the way up. And then this is the supply that needs to be mitigated in order for this to be possible. So you should be like preparing, yes, for potential longs with the 6 hour order block we've got down here, the liquidity that we could potentially take here, get that change of character, break of momentum, and then target this value high in hopes for a break of structure continuation. But if we have an opposing change of character, then you get out, right? And this is like, honestly, in terms of R&R, like on the current positioning of this asset is you're looking at close to 1 to 3. So you can triple your risk. So if you risk to lose 100, you gain 300. Assuming you're trading a a $10,000 account. We could take this low, and then our key level would rotate from here to here, which I would kind of prefer. And then we can look for the break of momentum around here after taking this low and getting that order block confluence. So that is cubic. I hope that helps you out. We do have a cubic chart. So if you type in the words like !! chart, you will get a message in your DMs from our system that will give you like access to that chart. Have I seen the AI feature in TradingView? I have not. I have not checked that out. I didn't know they had an AI feature yet. I know they had an AI news system, but I I haven't seen anything else other than that. I gotta look into that. That sounds cool. Good morning. What's up, guys? 68 viewers. Welcome to the party. Have a great week. Thanks, man. You struggle with FOMO and wanting to enter at a break of structure, as I don't want it to run off without me. Do you always wait for a retrace for entry? I don't always wait. No. I only look for a retrace if all of my rules have been met, but my risk reward ratio isn't there. So if I draw an example, which is a pretty common example that happens to me once in a while. Actually, let's look at the most recent example. So we had a steep change of character here, right? And I'm like, I feel that FOMO feeling too. I'm not going to say that I don't, but I've learned the hard way not to just go in when all your rules are met if the risk reward ratio isn't there. For every strategy in the entire planet, your final rule should be based on, is the risk to reward ratio is where I want it to be at. And if it's not, don't take the trade, because there's going to be other opportunities. There are always, always, always other opportunities. Right? So I could have just aped in on the change of character and I got a 1 to 1.58. I focus on 1 to 2s. I know there are people out there that follow my trades and just go for the 1 to 1 because I have like a 90% win rate going to the 1 to 1, and I have a like an 85% win rate going for 1 to 2s. My 85% win rate with 1 to 2s is better than their 1 to 1s. I will scale at a faster rate than them, even though they'll have a higher percent win rate. So I look for pullbacks where I expect the criteria to meet resistance. So here in this example, we got the change of character for the short. We lost the momentum, targeting demand after hitting supply. But I saw that there was a sell wall around here, so we weren't likely to go past it. We had these previous lows that we can retest. We have momentum. So I used that instead of using, I normally like to use Fibonacci retracement, like something like this. But with all the opposing confluences, I didn't think that we were going to reach there. So I just limited ordered in here, and then down we went. So that FOMO feeling, you shouldn't never allow emotions to dictate your entry. It's so hard to be consistent. Can you check out a stock for you? Yeah, I can do that. We have earnings coming out soon for stocks, guys, so just be aware of that. You tried half and half, then it runs off with only half position size. I do that too sometimes. Yeah, you'll see that in my signals where I'll always tell you what I'm doing with my position stuff. And if I'll sometimes enter with half position if the feeling of if I have that feeling of a lack of trust in my own setup, and I gotta stop doing that, because that happens to me too. I'll run off with half position size and hit my target, which is a poor form of risk management by itself, right? Circle, CRCL. And you said a Circle Internet Group. So New York Stock Exchange. Zoom out. So we got this daily bullish change of characters. We flipped bullish during that moment. We hit supply and came down. We retested this neckline for this descending double bottom. So the macro picture right now, it's like it's trying to get up there, but it's kind of failing. Let's see. $91, okay. So we just hit psychological resistance. $100, the psychological level. Downtrending momentum. Demand. It's harder to see on the daily, but we have demand here. Let's zoom in though. So we're trying to use this neckline as a form of support. This often happens where you could get that breakout and retest, but we're kind of at that moment where we're trying to either squeeze to validate the higher high where it's actually being honored as a form of support. It's that confirmation break of structure on the daily can't happen until we close above here. So this is a daily unclaimed high. And we're trading internally between this low and that high. But externally, we're bullish. So you should be focusing mostly on longs with circle right now. Yeah, we're going down right now, but once we get closer to this daily order block, which we've already mitigated, this is also a form of demand here. We should be looking for longs again, break of momentum, internal change of character, and then target the unclaimed high while being mindful of like the 200-day EMA that just printed, which is at 115 right now, and the 50-day EMA, and any opposing lower time frame order blocks. I gotta go soon, guys. I'm getting hungry. We got a 4-hour order block here. You should watch out for. That's at 122.74. Let's go down to the 15-minute. The 15 minutes not as blocky as I thought it would be. It's not. It's pretty clean. Yeah, we're at demand right here, right now. Impulse move up, basis structure, impulse move up. Always look at these as an area of support. We fully mitigate though. So think of this like armor. We chipped away at it already with the sword. So the next time we come through it, so it'll be significantly weaker. So if we do close this as a break of structure, which we're really close to, I'm expecting for this to fall down to $88.50. And when we get down there, that's when you should have your long goggles back on and prepare for longs again. So if we get that bullish change of character here, it'll be internal to the daily. We can look for something like maybe on the 15-minute or the hourly in this section. And then, yeah, like I said before, target the daily unclaimed high for like more of a swing-based type move. The momentum, that's 20 days, 11, 13 days. Yeah, so this could be a 2-week move back up. And just be aware of that if we get that squeeze to break up. And the move down, like based on our current active bearish momentum, like it could take us 8 days to get down there. Unless we just fall really quick like we did here. Like we're seeing those impulse moves once we get through here. But, yeah. It could take as long as 8 days to get down. So just be aware of that. I'll leave this little scribble drawing on here, so if we come back to circle, maybe in the next live or a week from now, we can go through our analysis and see how accurate we were with this statement. But that's what I'll be praying for with this. It's a descending triangle squeeze bullish change of character after off the demand and run back up based on the daily structural bias, suggesting that we're more likely to go up. Tino from Traders Reality. I haven't seen Traders Reality stuff in so long. I think it came. I think it was around like 2020. Yeah, I think it was around 2020 where or 2021 where I stopped watching YouTubers. I used to, yeah. His indicator. I'm using his indicator right now. I use it for volume. The PVSRA is awesome. If you're going to use a volume indicator, use one with a little bit more edge. And this one's great. It's free to use. Big gap, the CME gap, or you mean volume gap? Likely CME. And can we please do Bitcoin? I've kind of went over Bitcoin several times, man. So if you start at the beginning of the live there, you can like record, like zoom back. You can go through that. But we're basically looking for a bullish change of character occurrence at this hourly order block to dictate a reversal to retest this value area low at 77,448. We have flipped bearish on the 4-hour structure, so it's just about looking for a retracement for a potential strong move down. Like something like this, basically hit our head here or hit our head here. If we get this scenario, then we have really good risk to reward ratio. We use the 4-hour strong high. We have 4-hour bearish order block here, but we got to be aware of the fact that a lot of the interest is here. Our point control is there. 4-hour order block, value area low. So we can come down like this. We've got a request to look at Pepe. This thing moves pretty awkwardly. So this is Binance chart, so you can see there's a lot of friction on the charts. So you might have something better on like maybe a DEX chart. Most of Pepe's liquidity is in a decentralized space. So we marked a couple key areas of interest last time we looked at it, which was around March 24th. We were watching here and here. Looks like we hit our head here a little bit. Then we came here and we definitely hit our head. Created a new 4-hour order block, came up and mitigated that. We're still holding this momentum. So this is the buyer's momentum. I think this is the pace of the buyers. So we could theoretically, creep our way up above this point of control and rotate to the value area. Well, the value high is way up there. But yeah, with supply being here and us, I guess we mostly completely mitigated that the first time we came around. It still became a key area of interest for rejections. And based on where we're positioned with Bitcoin and Ethereum having a large amount of Pepe pairing liquidity, I'm kind of expecting for us to get that follow through from that pairing liquidity. If anyone doesn't know what pairing liquidity is think of it like the asset that's used to allow people to swap the assets that's created. So like lately, a lot of people have been using USDT, but Pepe used a lot of Ethereum and BNB. So when Ethereum moves up, it will move up with it, even without buyers. And if it moves down, Pepe will move down with it, even without sellers. All right, we can delete this. So we're internal between this high and this low, awkwardly. We did flip. Okay, we flipped bearish here during this moment. So we are bearish on Pepe on the 4 hour. You have a 50-day EMA or momentum kind of holding us up. Let's go the hourly for a second. So this is like the demand here that's kind of holding us up here. We had demand here as well, but only really held us up for one tap. So what I'd be looking for continuations on the way down is basically a loss of the valley area. Likely we'll get a bounce at the 50-day. We lose momentum and retest. And then on that break of structure, expect a stronger rotation down. I would watch this. Yeah, here it's a good spot to watch out for. An hourly order block. We have some like higher lows here that they're really close together. So they got stacked liquidity. So I can see it's coming down and then preparing for a reversal at this point. And you can leave that drawn out too. But basically you're looking for, the bearish break of structure continuation after losing the valley area. But until you see something like that, you always assume longs here. So you can look at the 15-minute time frame to look for a bullish change of character, but you can tell by like price action, like the friction here. Unless you get a better chart than this, you gotta be really, really cautious. So you need to have like a 2-candle pullback, low taken, and then change of character before assuming we can come back up to the valley high again. This is our current strong high that's internal. So you need to have a new proper pullback, which could come with the confluence of Bitcoin bouncing at our hourly order block that we're looking at now. It's kind of basically telling you the same story with Bitcoin, right? We can get that bounce and retest and come down. And Pepe is kind of painting the similar picture. Oh, 65 was the CMA gap for circle. Okay. I got you. Near is good. Near might have some crazy reaction soon. We have earnings coming out for NVIDIA. So keep an eye out for any assets that are correlated with AI when the earnings comes out. Let me pull that up. Earnings on NVIDIA. Oh, it's May 20th. Okay. So that's the next report. So May 20th is a day to watch. Write that down on your calendar because it can get pretty wild. Like think of render. Just basically go to CoinMarketCap. I'm drawing a blank right now. CoinMarketCap, and you can look at things based on category. categories. Like AI sector, big data, data. So BitTensor, near, internet computer, render, Siren, Filecoin. Filecoin's also a storage. Graph is also storage. But yeah, look at anything that's like correlated with this, with these assets, and look at these charts. Whatever one you're like comfortable trading, of course. Don't just jump into it because it's AI. And then like using its market structure in confluence with the data. Don't just jump into a long if the data is good. Don't jump into a short if the data is bad. You should be using structural ingredients. Unless you're highly acute and aware with what's going on with that asset. Sometimes they'll have opposing news, right? There could be something very bad could have happened to render on the same day that, you know, NVIDIA has a good report. So always look for structural ingredients, have all your rules be met, put your rules on a checklist format on a whiteboard, and you're good. All right, guys, I've got to go. Yeah, I've been on a call since like 9:15 this morning. I'm getting hungry, and I got another call with the community at 4, so in about 3 hours. But yeah, just a quick recap. Looking for a potential bounce here, retest to the value area low. We're going to anticipate resistance here. Looking for an opposing reaction. If we do get one, then we should get out. I'll tell you if I jump in. I'll tell you if I get out in the Discord there. We can either get the short opportunity here. We can get a short opportunity here. It's just about looking for market structural ingredients. Hopefully we don't get a steep change of character like we got in this scenario. You know, we get something like this. All right, so we can have a good key level, tight stop loss, and down we go. Either be here or here. And this is where we're just anticipating a bounce to come up to retest this and prepare the setup for the short. You can long this or you can wait for the short. Your TP2 is almost hit for the orb strategy for the way down. I can look at virtuals for you in the Discord. That fun stuff. We're growing at a faster and faster rate. Our next goal is 8,000 subscribers. I'm not a very good entertainer, as you can tell. I'm more just here just to help you guys out with the TA stuff. But I really appreciate all the help you guys do. Thanks for taking time to explain things. No problem. All right, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow's next live is at 10:30 a.m. It's going to be about a 45-minute, hour-long one. I got mixed martial arts tomorrow, preparing for a big tournament in July. There's going to be like 75 to 120 fighters there. So I'm a little bit nervous, but, you know, practicing like 3 times a week, getting ready for it. All right, guys, you have a great day. Thank you so much for liking and following, subscribing, all that fun stuff. I suck at saying goodbyes. I'll see you guys in the next one. How to read the Ethereum open interest? I missed that question. All right, see you guys.